Hi everyone, it's me, B at Kelly Sunflower. So I thought I'd hop on today and do an unboxing, flip through and first impressions of this gorgeous deck that arrived today. It's called Grimalkin's Curious Cats Tarot, and it's an 80 card deck and guidebook by MC Culane, and it's published by Hay House. With one paw in the world of catnip toys and belly rubs, and another in the world of stalking prey and disappearing into the landscape, cats exist in a liminal space between domestic and wild, captive and free. They are mysterious shapeshifters, loyal familiars, and self-appointed rulers over the humans they design to grace with their company. And many of us will happily submit to their rule for a few cuddles. From scrounging alley cats to well-fed cats and hairless cats to giant puffballs, Grimalkin's Curious Cat Tarot is a positively perfect deck for any cat lover. Each of the Rider-Waite-Smith style cards in this deck depicts cats along their own furry fool's journey, the good, the bad, the graceful and the goofy. So it comes in this gorgeous left off box, which I like. I like it when you can put your thumb through and lift it up. It's a bit tight because it's new. And inside the top part of the box, it says, "Slip beyond the veil on silent cat paws." So inside the box, you get the guidebook and the cards. And then, isn't that cat gorgeous? It's like a two-sided cat. So let's have a look at the guidebook first. It looks like it's quite chunky for a little guidebook, or let me see how many pages it's got. 174 pages. Thank you, that magical person who sent the inspiration, the spell, the gift of creation. Because of you, this deck has become real. So it's got a short table of contents and it gives you an introduction. It tells you how to prepare to use your deck. It gives you cat spreads, questions from cats of the major arcana. Then it goes into the major arcana, the minor arcana, and through each of the suits. It goes through the wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. And then it tells you about the author. So let's have a bit of a read of the introduction. Cats and crows carry similar energy. They both remember positive and negative human interactions, and as a result, you will either have a friend for life or a mortal enemy. They are both fond of bringing presents, holding grudges, and are calculating and clever in getting what they desire. You might assume I am a cat person because of my deep affection for crows. I am, however, a dog person. Dogs bring comfort and security. Cats, quite frankly, have always scared me a little. We may assume we know what a cat is thinking, but I am sure they know what we are thinking. The many cats I have encountered over the years seem to have an almost supernatural ability to quickly assess desires, fears, strengths and weaknesses. Maybe you too have felt the heavy, unsettling gaze of a cat peering deeply into your soul. It is as if they tap into a world beyond our perception, where they understand us better than we understand ourselves. The Grimalkin's Curious Cat Tarot began its journey in a very feline way. I had just launched the Wise Dog Tarot and was getting requests for a cat tarot. At the time, I had never found any intentions of making a cat tarot deck. and I had another project in mind that I wanted to focus on. One evening I was walking on the sidewalk near my apartment and I tripped over a plump orange cat that seemed to materialise as I was mid-step. I fell flat on my face, splitting open my upper lip. I now have a noticeable scar due to this accident, and I remember never to say never, especially not to a cat. I believe this cat appeared because it knew I had strayed off a path, and the only way to get my attention was to get under my feet. I needed to learn something, and it was through cat energy that the message would be understood. A cat tarot was in my future, whether or not I comprehended it at the time. Since that encounter, I now view cats a little differently. I am less scared of them and more intrigued. Although they still make me feel a bit uneasy, I believe these sturdy creatures with their heightened intuition walk the fine line between the veil where they gather the information within that mystical space that may cause us temporary discomfort, but in the end will always lead us in the right direction. Note, the first 78 Indiegogo backers for the original edition of this deck got to dedicate a card to their cats, and those carry on in this new edition. Okay, so this was a indie deck to begin with. So she tells you how to prepare to use your deck. There's quite a few pages there. And then it goes into single card pulls. Yes, no, maybe. To use the Grimalkin's Curious Cat Tarot as an oracle, simply think of a question that can be answered as yes or no. Shuffle the deck while you focus on your query. When you feel that little tug that lets you know the answer is ready to be revealed, draw your card. And then she gives a list of cards that mean yes. And a list of cards that mean no, and a list of cards that mean maybe. That's quite good. When she talks about single card advice, meow, the meow spread. Then there's questions from the cats of the major arcana. So for example, strength. Can you face adversity with grace and maybe a bit of humour? It's interesting. Then it goes into the major arcana. There's no pictures, but so it's got a keyword dedicated to travel. And then it gives you an upright and a reverse meaning. So the upright meaning is called positive. So for the Fool, it's got fair to explore without fear, spontaneous and almost childlike when making decisions, open to new experiences without exceptions. Then the negative or reverse meaning says disregard for consequences or the impact on others, carefree to fault, lack self-control and acts on impulse only. So she does that for each of the cards in the major arcana. So let's have a look at the minor arcana. So the minor arcana, so for the wands, it's got element fire, qualities hot dry, presentation masculine, season summer. I like that. Positive attributes, adventurous, creative, energetic, healthy, outgoing, risk-taking, vibrant. Negative attributes, aggressive, egotistical, impatient, obsessive, reckless, superficial and temperamental. So it gives you the symbols and it gives you aligned majors. So I'm guessing these are the major cards that align with the wands, and it says the Emperor, Strength, Wheel of Fortune, Temperance, the Tower, the Sun and Judgment. Also it gives you like a sentence to talk about the Ace of Wands, and then it gives you keywords for the positive and negative aspect or upright and reverse aspects of the cards. No pictures. So it does that all throughout the book for all of the suits and stuff in the major and minor arcana. Now, about the author, M.J. Cullen aka Margux Jones, is an award-winning Seattle-based artist, writer, mother, and lover of all things magical, especially crows. She attended Parsons School of Design, yet her unique technique for telling stories through digital collage is self-taught and has been her passion for over 10 years. Nature and its creatures are a similar theme in MJ's work. However, having grown up in south of Boston, her collages are heavily influenced by the energy of the city. Her work often merges the two worlds. I mean, it gives you who influenced her art. With a background in mixed media, MJ's primary art speciality comes through digital collaging. There are a lot of misconceptions about this technique for creating. MJ does not simply cut out images and Photoshop them. She paints the images on the screen and adds elements to images to enhance the story she wishes to tell. Her path into the world of tarot was a beautiful accident that came out of a difficult time in her life. The process of creating the Crow Tarot helped her discover her own wings through. At the time, she didn't realise how life-changing the project would become. She simply fell in love with the process, the messages, and the feeling each card invoked. The Crow Tarot, MJ's first published deck, has achieved a significant following and recognition with Crow lovers and the tarot community, including winning the 2019 Carter Award for Best Tarot Deck and Best Illustrator of a Tarot Deck. When MJ is not making art or writing, she is spending time with her child, playing in nature, practicing magic, and finding new sources of inspiration. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, that's her picture at the back of the book. Okay, so let's have a look at the cards. So the cards are kind of typical Hay House quality cards. They're quite thick actually. And as you can see by the deck, it's quite a chunky kind of deck. So that could give an indication on how thick the card stock is. So let's compare it in size with my RWS deck, the Abona Weight. So these are kind of oracle in size. They're a lot bigger than a regular tarot deck. So the backs of the cards do look reversible, which is a good thing. I like, because I read reversal, so I like cards that are reversible. So you've got the Fool. I love the scenery, very spring-like. And she's at the edge of a boat, and you can see the crocodile there, you know, waiting to pounce. And it looks like the dog in the background and the crow could be her guides. So you've got the Magician, and you know, the Magician's got all the minor arcana archetypes on her table. So the sword, the cup, the wand, and the pentacles. This looks like an acorn. The High Priestess. And I guess these are the two pillows, a curtain and like a tree. And that's the eye for seeing, and the moon. Beautiful. I really love this artwork. So you've got the Empress, and she's nurturing her baby cat. And you've got the mice. This looks like her garden. The Emperor looks like a very stern, no-nonsense type of cat. The Hierophant, she's got the keys there around her, or his cat collar. And this looks very kind of churchy. The Lovers, black and white cats, and that's the snake there, and the angel, which is a lion. The Chariot is two dogs. That's a lovely Siamese cat with two dogs. So you've got the Strength, which is a kitten embracing, that looks like a wolf, and you can see the affinity there. The butterfly there as well for transformation, I guess. So you've got the Hermit, which is a cat just hiding up, you know, on top of a tree. The Wheel of Fortune. Justice. And I like the way that the cat's eyes are closed to show blind justice or impartiality. And you've got the scowls and you've got the sword. This is an interesting hangman. The crow's got the cat's tail in its mouth, so it's hanging the cat upside down. That's death. So this is like a skeletal cat. Temperance. I'm not understanding how this shows balance and stuff and even mix, but I'm sure the book will give a good explanation. The devil. The tower. The star. The moon. And I love how the face of the moon looks like a lion. You've got the sun, this beautiful sun card, surrounded by lovely sunflowers. Judgment. And the world. There seems to be quite a lot of crows in the Major Arcana. And there's another card called Unity. It's a separate extra card. And Grimalkin. So there's 2 extra cards in the Major Arcana. So moving on to the suit of wands, you've got the Ace of Wands, the 2 of Wands, the 3, the 4 of Wands, the 5, that's the 6 of Wands, 7, it's the 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands, and 10 of Wands. So moving into the court cards, you've got the Page. It's like it's playing with fire there. The Knight. And I love how there's horses in the background. The Queen of Wands. And the King of Wands. So moving into the suit of cups, you've got the Ace of Cups, the 2 of Cups, this is an interesting 3 of Cups, 4 of Cups, that's the 5 of Cups, crying over spilt milk, 6, 7 of Cups. Look at all those choices there. It's the 8 of Cups, 9 of Cups, and 10 of Cups. So moving into the court cards, you've got the Page. It's a fish out of water there. The Knight. It's like a unicorn. The Queen of Cups. And the King of Cups. Moving in onto the suit of swords, you've got the Ace of Swords, the 2 of Swords. Oh, look at that 3 of Swords. You've got 3 swords pierced into the cat's heart area. 4 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 6, 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, Bad Dream, and the Ten of Swords. So the crows there. So moving on to the court cards, you've got the Page, the Knight. All the knights seem to have horses of some sort. The Queen, and the King. So moving on to the final sort, which is the Suit of Pentacles. You've got the Ace of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Six, Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and Ten of Pentacles. So moving into the court cards, you've got the Page, the Knight, the Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. Let's shuffle this deck before I give you my first impressions. Oh dear. So this deck is a little bit hard to shuffle for me, and I'm an overhand shuffler because of the thickness of the deck. I think based on the card stock, in my own opinion, I think a riffle shuffler and a bridge shuffler might also find this a challenge. And also people that have got smaller hands may also find this deck quite difficult to shuffle. So what are my first impressions? Well, as a cat lover, I'm going to tell you that I love this deck because, you know, it depicts cats. I do think it's, even though it says that it follows the Rider-Waite-Smith system, I do think it kind of deviates. Some of the archetypes pictorially to me look quite different to that of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. For example, the Temperance was one of them that I didn't understand that, but I'm sure the book will give a good explanation. And because of that, I don't think this deck would be good for a beginner. I think you have to have an understanding of tarot because it is slightly different from the norm. To be able to read with this deck, but that's just my own personal perception. This deck will make a beautiful spring deck, so I am going to add it to my spring collection of decks to work with over the spring season. And it's just a beautiful deck of tarot depicted with cats. So I will add a link to this deck in the description bar. I think it was released yesterday, well, in the UK anyway, and it arrived today. I had it on pre-order for quite a while. So if you don't mind thicker decks and you love cats, this will be the perfect deck for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.